covering the cities and towns of South Carolina with news and information you can use. Here's Judy Gatson with Hometown Network News.
Across the state, thoughtful and informed business and civic leaders are being invited to talk with their local government leaders in a new way, a way that leads to partnership and long-term economic success. There is a growing understanding that we're all working toward the mutual goal of increasing our state's competitiveness to ensure the economic well-being of our citizens. This goal can only be realized if we have strong cities and towns that provide the services, innovative programs, and quality of life that a globally competitive marketplace requires. With increased cooperation between the private and public sector, we can find ways to meet rising expectations of cities and towns without overburdening businesses and taxpayers. Wanda Stokes looks at the important role cities and towns play in our state's economic development efforts.
Strong, healthy cities are the backbone of the state's future economic prosperity. They support local growth, spark progress for regional success, and encourage efforts to compete globally.
I don't think you can find an economic model in the United States that is not built around a healthy and vibrant city. I'm a strong believer in big and small cities having those resources that they need in order to attract those amenities and attract job investment and opportunities for all the citizens of that community.
But cities and towns continue to be challenged by shrinking revenue sources and outdated laws that restrict their ability to expand their boundaries to include growth areas.
Cities and towns are always looking for new ways to meet these challenges and conquer them as we strive to ensure the quality of life that our citizens expect and our business community need in order to compete. We all know there's a direct connection between the services, the programs, and the amenities that taxpayers and businesses demand and the city's ability to meet these expectations. Oftentimes, these connections get lost in political rhetoric and fierce competition for scarce public dollars and other resources.
The South Carolina business community and cities and towns throughout South Carolina have a long history of working together to help improve the quality of life for all of our citizens. The recent debate on property taxes has pitted these two organizations against each other, and we've got to be able to find some solutions so that we can bring these two organizations back together so that we can continue to help to increase South Carolina's global competitiveness.
Young people are an important part of this future competitiveness, and we must make our cities and towns magnets for attracting and keeping them in our state.
I think all over the state you see the renaissance of downtowns, and you see this outreach to keep the young people involved with the cities. I think it's a great trend, and I think it bodes well for our future.
It's clear, cities are a critical link to South Carolina's efforts to compete locally and globally. For Hometown Network News, I'm Wanda Johnson-Stokes.
Thanks, Wanda. The outlook for South Carolina's future prosperity looks brighter if cities have the resources and the flexibility to use those resources in the manner that is best for their own community. Let's hear more on what the forecast holds.
We see sunny skies ahead for efforts to increase South Carolina's competitiveness and grow per capita income if the state cities are strong. There's some cloudiness on the horizon regarding tax issues, but with increased cooperation between government and business to find ways to provide services without overburdening business and taxpayers, the long-range forecast is sunny.
It's easy to overlook the value of a strong city when the debate often focuses just on taxes or individual pocketbook issues. Susan Wild examines the positive return on investment that strong cities provide to businesses and taxpayers.
Vibrant cities are essential to jobs, prosperity, and the quality of life for South Carolinians. Let's take a look at some examples that illustrate how cities are economic engines supporting our state's business, healthcare, education, and civic interests.
Strong cities are population centers that draw business prospects, support employment, and promote a positive quality of life. Strong cities draw non-residents every day for work and play. Strong cities are hubs for higher education institutions, attracting research dollars, motivated young people, and increased economic activity. Strong cities are centers for culture and recreation that city residents, non-residents, and tourists all value. Strong cities are at the core of regional health care and medical services.
It's clear our cities and towns play an important role in our successful state economy, but they don't exist in a vacuum. Partnerships are key.
Great cities are bridge builders, because a great part of what a city ought to be about is building bridges and partnerships between people, to bring people together to make things happen in terms of economic development. And what a great city does is add value to what they have, to the natural assets of the community, to make those assets even better than they were to begin with.
As Mayor White said, strong cities are bridge builders. Working together, we can make our hometown stronger and our state more competitive for a better quality of life for all. For Hometown Network News, this is Susan Wild.
Thanks, Susan. The future success of our state is clearly tied to the future success of our cities and towns. To learn more about what South Carolina cities and towns are doing to make critical contributions to our state's economy, visit hometownsc.org and get involved to make your city or town the best it can be.